Good morning. Welcome to Monday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I'm still sounding like a frog, so I apologize for that. But, yep, caught the crud from somebody. Who knows? But what is this, day 5? I should be pretty near the end at this point. It just kind of settled into my throat, so sound a little funky, but we'll press on. So, yes, we had a storm. And at 4:30 a.m., my new plow guy was here. I'm so happy. Good morning, Joe Neal. Glad you're here. Welcome. I cannot over-recommend having plow people. It is fabulous. It is fabulous. So I got to lay comfy and warm in my bed and hear snow blowers and shovels and plow. It was a Zen experience. And actually, speaking of Zen experiences, that is our part of our reading for today, which is an interesting little reading. Kind of makes me chuckle and reminds me very much of Byron Katie, Loving What Is. And it probably has shades of Mel Robbins' Let Them as well. But yeah, good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. So as people start rolling in, excuse me, hairball, I thought we could start with some tapping and some breath. And then I think we will review our invoking divine right timing and divine right order. And then we'll do today's reading, which is kind of an example of divine right order with a twist. So let us start with some tapping and some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Not a whole lot coming in through this nose. In through the nose. Good morning, Barb. Out through the mouth. Looks like someone else is here also, but your name hasn't rolled. But glad you're here. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And one more for good measure. It's Nancy. Good morning. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Yes, Beth, how much snow did you get? I don't know as though we got a whole lot because it was a mix of the snow and the rain. The plow guy still came, so it had to be over an inch. But I think it's pretty slick out there. So I'm staying home. Have enough food, have heat, life is good. So let us do our 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order. We have 4 statements to make. I'm going to tap while I do them. Let's drill these in really well, shall we? Today the divine will show me the way. I'm open to all signs and messages. 10 inches of snow. Ick. I haven't gone out yet, but I think it's negligible snow. Mostly it was sleety stuff. Wintry mix, they call it. Doesn't that make it sound better? Yeah. The perfect steps are already picked, and I am guided to them. Moving through the world open to constant help gets easier and easier with practice. 10 inches in the banana belt. Yeah, so now let's go a little bit norther of you guys. Oi. They're going to be using their second floor doors. Heavy wet. Yes, that's what it is here too, heavy wet. Which means just that the snowblower plugs up and you have to stop and carefully, not with your hands. Here comes the mama. Dig it out. Start again. Yes. And I don't have to do that. And neither does my 91-year-old father. Yay. So, it is good. It is good. I will stay snuggled in my home today and maybe catch up. Yesterday, I caught up on all manner of paperwork. I had a contract to read. I had a policy to review. I had all this stuff. Cranked all that stuff out. Yay. So, and Diane and I went and sat in the park for a while, and we went and had breakfast. Oh my God, Mateo's breakfast, right? It's an omelet. It's as big as your head. So I'll probably get at least 3 meals, if not 4 out of that. So, yeah, great place. On Wisconsin Avenue. If you haven't been there, and come to Appleton Mateo's. Yeah. So, I kind of had a gut sense today that this is where we were going to be going in terms of where our reading was coming from. And good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. Oh, I just realized, yes, I have blue jeans on instead of yoga clothes because Bobby canceled yoga today, A, because of the weather, and B, because of the weather. Those of us who join online, she said she didn't think that her Zoom was going to be doing very well, given the high winds up there. So a day off of yoga, which means I need to do something else physical. I vacuumed yesterday, so that's off the table. We'll find something. So, Tosha, outrageous openness, letting the divine take the lead. And this one is a humorous one because she's sharing her really bad day. Snow in Green Bay. Oh, yes. We've got, I think the roads are probably not good. That would be my guess. Between the sleety, icy stuff and the snow, I don't think they're good. We didn't get a ton of snow, but it's not pretty. So yeah. All right. So this particular chapter, for those of you who like to follow along, it's set up very differently than most of her other chapters. It's page 164. It's a good thing I don't have any meetings today because I don't think I'm going to have much voice. I do have one client later today, but I'll make her do all the talking. This one is called Zen of Traffic Postscript. Dude, where's my car? The quote is an anonymous quote. Just think how lucky you are today to only have this much karma. Kind of gives you a sense of where we're going. So she's describing her current circumstances on that particular day. August 20th, 2009. New moon in Leo. At 10:44 a.m., I post a column at examiner.com called The Zen of Traffic. Try to make a few salient points along the way. 2:45 p.m. Drive to Rainbow, the resplendent San Francisco collective grocery store, to shop. 2:55 p.m. Park Prius in a commercial zone outside the store that has signs saying no parking until 3 p.m. Figure with only 5 minutes to go, I'm totally safe. 3:02 p.m. Hear Rainbow worker announce over loudspeaker that someone's blue Prius is being towed. Run outside to see my car being dragged down Folsom. I'm in shock, trying to figure out how the hell a truck could even arrive and chain me up so fast. 3:30 p.m. Sprint the 12 blocks to the tow yard at 7th and Bryant to join a line of folks who all had their cars taken in the same sting. The clerk confides the city's strategies have recently changed. San Francisco is broke and desperate for revenue. So while you used to be able to park 5 or 10 minutes early, now a traffic cop and tow truck lie in wait at certain spots ready to pounce. 4:15 p.m. Pay $373, not including the $125 ticket arriving in the mail, to reclaim hijacked Prius. 4:45 p.m., drive back to finish shopping at Rainbow, discover the cart I had put aside filled with food at customer service has been emptied and used by someone else. Refill cart with each object feeling eerily like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. And yet, a part of me is cracking up. I mean, I definitely have preferred to spend that money differently, but you gotta love it. What a test to see if I could even remotely live what I wrote. Remember, she turned in the column first thing in the morning, making these kinds of points, I'm sure. Anyway, today was a new moon at 27 degrees Leo on top of my Pluto and Jupiter, opposing my moon and Venus, and squaring Mars and Saturn. I gotta laugh because I have a little bit of a sense of what she's Talking about diagrammatically. Good morning, Cheryl. Glad you're here. Diagrammatically. Not what that means, but I know, yeah. Something had to happen. And you never know what I might have missed. Maybe instead of a serious accident, I got away easy with an exorbitant surprise towing. You never know. And that last part there, that's the part that I wanted us to revel in a little bit today. That oftentimes, when something seemingly untoward happens, we don't know what it may have prevented. So when that person who drives 10 miles an hour under the speed limit pulls out in front of you, maybe that's protection. Maybe that's protection. Slowing your ass down so that you don't get in an accident. Maybe that person who holds up the checkout line by talking to the clerk and putting every single piece up there individually and examining them as they put it onto the conveyor belt, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that slowed you down just enough to avoid something heinous. Who knows? And since we don't know, doesn't it behoove us, I used to say this to clients all the time and hit the resistance, but I'm going to say it again. Doesn't it behoove us to assume the best rather than to assume the worst? When we don't know why something unfolded the way it did, but it unfolded, people, why not accept, why not choose to accept an explanation that makes you feel good? So, my classic example of this is I'm walking down the hall and Harry goes past and I say, "Hi, Harry," and Harry keeps walking and doesn't say anything. I can assume I did something wrong and, oh my God, I've pissed off Harry and now he's never going to talk to me again and I must be a horrible person. Or I can go, "Harry, that jerk, he didn't say hi to me. What's wrong with him? I'm not saying hi to him ever again." Or I might say, "Ooh, Harry's preoccupied. He's got something on his mind. I hope he's okay." And I just send good energy to Harry. I've decided all three of those potential explanations, and I'm the one who reaps the benefits or costs of the explanations I've decided. So again, since I don't know, why don't I pick the one that makes me feel the best instead of the one that makes me feel the worst? Why not? Back to Byron Katie. Multiple stories in her book about the book is Loving What Is, for those of you who haven't read it. Good read, and toward the end gets repetitive. And so I thought to myself, why is she being so repetitive? And then, because I didn't know, my explanation was because we can be thick-headed and she needs to say it as many times as she needs to say it for it to sink in. The things that happen to us are the things that happen for us. There isn't the things that are apparently the crappiest things in our lives. Yes, I like the positive option too. My wiring is more set to go to the negative option, but I have a cortex, so I can decide to edit that, get rid of the negative option, and put my time, energy, belief into the positive option. I get to do that. I get to decide that. We all do. We all do. So going back, when Byron Katie was out on tour and came home and her entire house had been burgled and everything was taken, she framed it up as, fine, all of these things have now gone to the people that they're meant to go to. I get to start with a clean slate. I get to pick out the things that I want, that I love, etc. Whole different perspective, right? You could waste many of your days lamenting the loss of all that stuff, or you can open your hands and let it go freely and move forward. Move forward. So let's practice today, shall we? Let's practice today. What do you want to tell yourself about things that are going on in your life? If you go with the "it's terrible, horrible, awful," notice the impact on you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You will not flourish. You will not flourish if what you're focusing on is the negative aspects of whatever unfolds. On the other hand, fish around for some positive aspects. Even if you, let's say you have a car accident, right? So I had a friend who just had a car accident, and because her car was a 2013, they totaled it. It wasn't worth that much. So to fix it would have cost more. They totaled it. She was upset. She loved her car. So she went test driving some cars, and she had had 6 years of no payments. That makes us happy. 6 years of no car payments, right? So she went and tried a bunch of vehicles, blah, blah, blah. She's looking at a bunch of used vehicles because in her mind she believes she can't afford a new vehicle. Glad to hear it. That's awesome. Yes. And the guy was going to get one ready for her that had just come in to test drive a used one. And he said, why don't you just try this new one? Just try it. Well, she fell in love. And she got back to the dealership. She took the other one for a drive, and it was like, not as great as the new one. And she said, but I can't afford a new car. And he said, well, here's the deal. The interest rate on the used car, I don't know if it was 4.9 or 6.9, one of the two. Anyway, but on the new car, 1.9. 1.9. So did the math, and for her, it was a better deal to get the new car, and it may be her last new car ever. Who knows? Because she runs them until they die. So, in that case, a good investment. But this thing that happened, the universe saying, it's time for you to have a different car. Let's crash this one for you. She could have continued to lament how awful, terrible, horrible, awful it was that this happened. And one of the interesting things about it was, in the process of this accident, it caused some property damage, and her insurance would cover the property damage, as it should. And she has come so far, because she said, first thing, I don't know what I meant to learn from this. This was before the whole unfolding with the new car, etc. I don't know what I meant to learn from this. But even the fact that she could make that statement lets you know she'd made the changes to, there's something I'm meant to learn from this, right? And my initial reaction was, well, what if you're not the one meant to learn from this? What if the property owner who experienced the damage to the property is the one who's meant to learn something from this, and you're merely the earth angel who delivered the message? Come to find out, the opportunity was there for the property owner to learn something new, but also for her. How awesome is that? A twofer. So those things that happen to us are really happening for us. How do we step into the wonderment of, oh, I wonder what I meant to learn from this? And sometimes we need to let it play out a bit, and sometimes we need to get a little distance from it because we're still feeling the sting, but what are we meant to learn from this? So hopefully that gives you some things to think about. Hopefully it rejuvenates your divine right timing and divine right order thoughts, because those fit right in there, don't they? Today the divine will show me the way. I'm open to all signs and messages. The perfect steps are already picked, and I am guided to them. Moving through the world open to constant help gets easier and easier with practice. Amen and hallelujah. There we are. So, set off on your fine Monday here. Have an awesome day. I hope you find some fun things to do. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.